I'll be building different fast foods across America, using this wheel to decide which fast food I should build. Here's the different fast foods that AI gave me. Starbucks! Okay, so I went ahead and did the layout. Entry, dining, bathrooms, registers, and kitchen. Okay, so Starbucks is pretty much a modern build that sells like coffee and pastries, almost like Dunkin' does. And its iconic colors are like green and like a grayish beige color. I actually go to Starbucks occasionally, so I do know what it looks like. I have the Starbucks app, and I think I have like probably 100 points. It's kind of an addiction.
Okay, and what do you want me to do about that?
But it's crazy because I literally don't like coffee. Like every time when I go to Starbucks, I don't get coffee. I literally get like a chai tea usually. And since pumpkin spice is back, I literally went to Starbucks. This is actually embarrassing. I went to Starbucks to grab a pumpkin spice latte. Even though I don't drink coffee, I wanted to try something different. And then I pulled up to the drive-thru and I immediately saw the camera that's staring at me. And they like asked me what I wanted to order. I don't know what happened to my brain, but I chopped it all up. I kid you not. Whenever they were like, "Hello, welcome to Starbucks. What can I do for you?" And I was like, "Can I get a spiced pumpkin latte ice?" And I was just sitting there like, and then the lady was like, "You mean you want a pumpkin spice latte?" And I was like, "Yes, can you just get me that, please?" I was like pulled up to the drive-thru window and she was just staring at me. And I was just like, it was actually so embarrassing. I didn't know you can resize these bushes to being like so huge. I thought how big it is already like kind of reached its full potential, but I guess not. Either big or go home, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I can also resize these ferns. Holy crap! It's embarrassing how I act like a noob. Nah, I'm just doing the front because the back doesn't matter. I feel like on the side here, they would like have individual bushes. Because after my video of the no game pass, I've been truly blessed. But now that I can use advanced placement, it's a blessing. While me yapping, I think I got pretty much the whole exterior of the Starbucks done. I'm gonna go ahead and do the drive-thru before I start painting the actual Starbucks, which I'll just be adding a basic cube. And I'm just gonna be resizing this. And this time I did not forget decals because usually I forget the decals. And then as you can see, I also got some pumpkin spice decals since it's pumpkin spice season.
I'll have a Trenta no foam 5-shot half cap, no foam pumpkin spice latte with no foam at 210 degrees.
OMG guys, actually speaking of drive-thru, the other day, my boyfriend, he wanted Chick-fil-A, right? And so I decided, you know, to go get it for him. But he ordered it online. He chose the drive-thru mobile order pickup. I have never been through the drive-thru mobile order pickup before, and neither has he. Like, he doesn't know. So whenever I went, I kid you not guys, I went through the line and there was like a QR code and I was just like, what is this? So I'm like scanning it and it's like, it's not working. No, I was just sitting in the drive-thru just staring at the QR code and I was just kind of like, why the hell is this code not working? I have people like literally staring at me, okay? They're literally staring at me. And then so I just was like, okay, whatever, screw it. And then I went to the window and then, you know, people are like literally behind me and I'm just like sitting there. The drive-thru lady comes up to me and she was like, hey. And I was like, hey. I didn't realize that my boyfriend actually had to be there with me. And then the girl was like, no, it's okay. Just next time, tell him to click the button that says someone else is picking up the order. And I was just kind of like, oh. So I was just sitting there in the line like an idiot. Okay, lastly for this drive-thru, I'm gonna add this commercial window. Now I'm gonna go ahead and decorate the Starbucks. I want wood planks on this side, but like only at the front. So that means I have to delete this whole entire wall because I'm stupid. I feel like this color looks good. And then as for the roof, I'm probably gonna make this a shade darker. Ooh, what if we add like a roof for the little patio? And we can add like a round pillar in the corner here. Okay. I don't like how you're protruding through that.
Beep beep, Georgie. I come for you.
Okay, and as for the doors, I feel like tall transform doors with like panel windows would look really good. And I feel like leaving the doors the way they are looks just perfect. And then we can add more of these windows on this side. All of this probably be windows. Wait, that's the bathroom, you idiot. I can't place it there. And Starbucks sign can literally just go right here in the middle. You know what I could do? Use this instead of just adding a big sign. And then as for the patio, we can just add these outdoor tables along with like outdoor chairs. And then we can possibly make this like a wood color, and then we can just place napkins in the center. And what if I make the napkins like green to represent the Starbucks? Ooh, yeah, that looks good. And then right outside, we can just have a trash bin. And maybe we can add like these pendants to the outside here. The exterior is completely done. Let's go ahead and start on the interior. So I'm gonna make these walls. I'm gonna match the outside. I feel like this needs to be darker. Yes, it gives off that coffee color. Not me like changing everything. When you're indecisive, guys, it's a blessing and a curse, I kid you not. And then for the bathrooms, I feel like concrete and then have like wall trims will look kind of good here. But this time we can make the wall trims a bit higher. And then as for the actual like kitchen and registers, we'll just make this concrete and maybe add some wall trims. Now for the floor, I want this to be the same as the bathroom. I feel like this type of texture looks good for the flooring. And then maybe like a smooth rock for the kitchen and the registers. Okay, so the first place I'm gonna start on is the bathrooms. Honestly, I'm actually going to shorten the bathrooms a little bit because usually the Starbucks bathrooms only have like one toilet in them. So first I think we should start off with the counter, and I feel like granite and just a dark wood texture would look good for this. Then we can place an elegant sink along with a framed mirror. Then we can slap down some soap and a hand dryer, and then we can place this modern toilet in this corner along with some toilet paper, and then maybe we can have like an industrial table right next to it and make this granite as well. And so we can just add like newspapers. For it being Starbucks, adding newspapers in the washroom would just fit. And then we can just place some potted plants and maybe another plant on this table. And then lastly, we can just add these frames. Everything I did for this bathroom, I'm just mirror it to the other bathroom. Okay, now that the bathrooms are complete, I'm gonna start working on the dining room. So as for the dining room, I feel like we can add just some restaurant tables along with some restaurant chairs. Then we can like place this table in this corner here and kind of do what I did with the outside and add just like napkins. And then we can place another one right here. Oh my gosh, I didn't add enough room for the dining area. And at Starbucks, a lot of people like go there to study. So I'm gonna add a laptop right there along with like maybe a piece of paper to kind of give off like someone's like studying. And then in this corner, someone could be like reading a book or maybe like writing in a journal. And to make it look a little bit more realistic, we can just add like a mug to indicate that they bought coffee. As for this entryway, potted plants on each side. And since there's like a step up right here, I'm just gonna add a basic shape and resize this so it looks like it's just stepping down into the dining room. And then I feel like a carpet, like a little runway carpet, would fit this pretty well. And then we can possibly add like a coat rack and then just add some coats to that. Now that the dining room is done, let's start working on the registers. Now in Starbucks, they have like a display case. They kind of like show you what they offer. So I'm just gonna add that there. And then we can make the counters just like wood. Then we can like switch this to metal. And then we can just add a register right here and then a register right there. And then we can just add some trays to indicate that their order is done. And then as for the menu at the top here, I'm just gonna add a basic shape and resize this to the counter and flatten it. And then we can just add some neon lights. At the end, I'll put the pastries and stuff in the display case. Doesn't have to go out of build mode. But next, I think we should start on the drive-through. So we can just add that counter and then another register along with an office chair. And then as for the drink station, we can just copy these counters over here. And they only sell coffee, so I feel like we should just add espresso machine. I feel like some toasters are needed, especially in microwave. And then we can just add these shelves at the top here, so we can just place some jars. And this can like represent like actual coffee beans and maybe even like sugar. And then we obviously are going to need to add some mugs. Okay, now as for the kitchen, it's kind of small. So obviously we're going to need a commercial fridge. I don't think they have any fryers, so I'm not gonna place one. But we can add a sink as well as an oven and possibly a grill. Then we can just fit these commercial counters along here. Oh, I think they need a blender. Yeah, they need a blender. What am I doing? And then we can just place some more trays. I mean, why do I keep calling these trays? Some more tables here in the center, so there's more space for them to work around. And we can just add some trays here and there. We also need to add a tray rack so that when we place our trays, these are like the clean trays. And then we can place like dishes along here. Now I feel like they have like more jars just hidden somewhere. I'm just gonna kind of spam some more jars. Then we can just add some spoon and some spatulas. Then we can just place some knives above the grill. And then we could probably add like a napkin dispenser. Maybe we can like kind of spam some of these to add these mugs. Pretend like these are dirty. I feel like this being close to the grill is very unsanitary, but it's what it is. We can add these trash bins along with the Starbucks logo. The Starbucks is finally complete, so let's take a tour. So as you can see, I did a bit more of the gardening on the outside because since it's pumpkin spice season, I decided to go for kind of a fall themed. But at the outside of the Starbucks, it's very modernized, very clean. Then if you go on the side, here's the drive-thru where you can order your pumpkin spice latte. And as you keep going, you'll see some advertisements, and this is where you pick up your food. Then when you walk into the Starbucks, you're introduced with fine dining as well as the menus over here at the registers. Then if you turn to your right, you'll enter the restroom. Very minimalistic, but I like how it came out. And of course, if you go towards the registers, you'll see the display case. There's already coffee and food at the counters along with the menu. And if you hop over, you'll see the drive-thru area, more pumpkin spice advertisements, and then the kitchen where all the food and the drinks get made. Then if you go back out onto the patio, you can have some nice outdoor patio moment where you can study, drink your coffee. Although the build is very minimalistic and modern, I do love how it came out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Voxel out.